Uh, he's
Hey,
here
what's good?
also.
Hey, how you doing, Space Apache?
Let's set up the rules for this. Okay. I will also get my phone to time everything. Do you guys want to have like an opening statement of sort?
Just go ahead and lay your
Yeah,
claim out, Space Apache, and then we'll go out.
Or
We'll just
straight
go
up?
back and forth.
I think
What's your
Okay,
claim?
second,
I
just a
think the
second,
opening
just a
statement.
second, Space Apache.
Okay.
Just a second. I want to make sure that I have everything down. Okay. Do you guys want to have like a set amount of time to speak, and then the other guy goes on,
I'm not prepared
do
for
you
this.
trust yourselves?
Just go for it.
Okay.
Just give me your
So
take.
in that case,
no need to formalize it.
say your take, and then have a conversation. I will just intervene whenever I see you guys like crossing
Fair
some
enough.
boundaries.
As long as he wants me to lay out my claim, so as long as you just do your regular mod, somebody starts yelling, hollering, whatever, it's normal stuff. So my opening statement's going to be quite simple. It's what I wanted to debate earlier, which we've debated multiple times at this point. That we have seen. First off, we have the reality is that we have seen epigenetic age reversal in rats. We've seen limited age reversal in specific organs, and age reversal technology is accelerating rapidly at this point. Okay, and my main claim, the main one that we have disagreed on multiple times, is that in the study regarding young blood fusion, there was genuine anti-aging age reversal properties in this experiment. And it's also been confirmed by other experiments. We have seen, as a species, genuine age reversal at the rat level.
Can you pull up the study?
Yes. Give me a second. I'm going to mute myself because I'm at work and I have a radio. So give me a second. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to mute myself while I grab it.
Let me take a look here. Is this the reversal biological age in multiple rat organs by young porcine plasma fraction? Is that what it is?
Should be, yes. I'm going to link it in the side chat.
Okay.
It should be the same one.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do.
So give me a second. Because real quick, but we did this while I was driving, so I'm going to have to find me a place to park here in about 10, 15 minutes. Probably about 10, 15 minutes. I'm not going to be able to scroll through and read.
That's okay. We'll read it together.
But let's go ahead and push forward anyway.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get it to show on my stream. Okay. So the abstract says, young blood plasma is known to confer beneficial effects on various organs in mice and rats. However, it was not known as to whether plasma from young pigs rejuvenates old rat tissues at the epigenetic level, whether it alters the epigenetic clock, which is a highly accurate molecular biomarker of aging. To address this question, we developed and validated 6 different epigenetic clocks for rat tissues that are based on DNA methylation values derived from N is equal to 613 tissue samples. As indicated from their respective names, the rat pan-tissue clock can be applied to DNA methylation profiles from all rat tissues, while the rat brain, liver, and blood clocks apply to the corresponding tissue types. We also developed 2 epigenetic clocks that apply both human and rat tissues by adding 1,366 human tissue samples to the training data. We employed the 6 rat clocks to investigate the rejuvenation effects of porcine plasma fraction treatment in different rat tissues. The treatment more than halved the epigenetic ages of blood, heart, and liver tissue. A less pronounced but statistically significant rejuvenation effect could be observed in the hypothalamus. The treatment was accompanied by progressive improvement in the function of the organs as ascertained through numerous biochemical, physiological biomarkers, and behavioral responses to assess cognitive functions. An immunoglobulin G, IgN, N, glycosylation, I'm sorry for my pronunciation.
Glycosylated. and glycosylatin, however you want to pronounce it.
Pattern shift from pro to anti-inflammatory also indicated reversal of glycan aging. Overall, this study demonstrates that a young porcine plasma-derived treatment markedly reverses aging in rats according to epigenetic clocks, IgG glycans, and other biomarkers of aging. Now we can look at the conclusion.
Mm-hmm. So before we go to the conclusion, I have to ask you, what exactly is your claim going to be the same as it's been in previous debates?
Well, my claim is that,
here?
so I'm just going to ask you, you had laid claim into
I'm asking
that
you
there
about
is
your claim.
Yeah. So I'm trying to explain myself. You had originally claimed that that age reversal is happening here, and you've also laid claim into saying that this would likely happen to humans, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So what is your counterclaim?
Well, I think that the paper that you're referring to here, I think you're hyperbolizing the point.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means that you're taking something and exaggerating it to the nth degree.
What does the nth degree mean?
Well, so for example, this paper is showing that, hey, through this particular process, we've been able to observe specific tissues of organs to actually have an age reversal process, which is cool. That is observed at a cellular level. That's correct.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So they did not do that to an entire organ, did they?
Okay, thank you for finally revealing your entire position, because this is going to be really easy. That's exactly what the paper states, actually, Amender. If you read the paper in its entirety and not just the beginning and the conclusion, but you read the paper in its entirety, you will find out that the tissue samples, right, were retrieved in order to evaluate the actual condition of the epigenetic clocks regarding the organs, okay? Because you can't... This is how we do anything. We do things, we sample tissues from multiple organs to evaluate the health of those organs, okay? And the health of these organs, according to the study, were functioning far more like the tissues and organs from younger rats, okay? And when you take a whole bunch of organs and you put them together, right, tissues from liver, kidneys, lungs, neural tissue, muscle tissue, skin cells, right? And you compare them, and all of these things have the function on par with significantly younger rats, right? Then you can legitimately make the claim that epigenetic age reversal has occurred, because it's not just in the tissues, it's not just at the cellular level, it is the cellular level, the tissues affect the organs affect the whole body, because your body is nothing but a combination of organs.
So that's kind of what I'm talking about. You're hyperbolizing.
That's literally what the paper says.
That is not what the paper says. We went through the abstract just now. The way that they were able to do age reversal was that they grabbed specific tissues and then they applied some sort of a plasma to be able to enact age reversal. This is not affecting the rat at a living level. It is also not affecting a giant macroorganism or even the entire organ. It is just pulling tissue out and then finding from a petri dish that it is reducing its age.
I have a question for you, Amender. What is the title of this paper?
It is Reversal of Biological Age in Multiple Rat Organs by Young Porcine Plasma Fraction.
It does not say tissues there, does it? Or cellular level?
Yeah,
what does it
so
say?
if you
it
read the paper,
organs.
It does yes, because you're grabbing organ tissues. Yes.
The tissues tell you the health of the organ, Amender. That's how science is done.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm saying that it's not an entire organ. It's not like this idea that you're taking an entire rat and then it's suddenly becoming young. Right? That's not how it works. What we did is we grabbed specific tissues from the rat, put it in a petri dish, and then applied porcine plasma to it, and then all of a sudden it's reversing in age. That's what they found, which is an interesting find, right? There's a probability that maybe that is how that happened. That's literally what we just read.
No, you're misreading it. Okay, so when you okay, I have a question for you. How do you evaluate the health of an organ,
Okay, well, can you give me
especially like the genetic age of that organ, the
I don't know.
function of that organ? How do you evaluate that?
I don't know. I'm assuming you do a biopsy, but I'm sure there's probably multiple ways. I'm not a doctor.
Yes. You. There's multiple ways, but the primary means in things like rats that can't sit here and tell us how they're feeling, and we can't, generally, is we retrieve tissue samples. We do similar things on humans. We have a variety of evaluation of organs. Like for lungs, you may breathe into a large thing that basically reads your lung capacity. And it tells you what your lung capacity is, and if you have a lower lung capacity, yada yada. But what we do a lot of times is biopsies, right? Tissue, and a biopsy is literally a tissue sample. The tissue sample then tells us the health of the organ. Okay? If you read, once again, all you have to read is the abstract. It makes it very, very clear that what they did was just sample tissues from the organs and evaluated the organs. In fact, if we scroll down in the paper, you will find chart after chart after chart that demonstrate the health of these organs relative to younger rats. And not just like
Tissues.
one organ or just tissues or cellular, but their heart, liver, lungs, kidneys, blood, neural
The
tissue.
tissue of
everything.
those things.
Yes, but that's how you tell the health of an organ, Amender, is you sample the tissue.
So I'm keep pulling it up, and it looks like that they're specifically talking about tissues. You're saying it's the entire organ. Where is that? Where do you see it say the entire organ?
Oh my God! When you to measure the health of an organ, if you're not using one of the other means, like I'm pointed out, like
Do we need to go over the methodology?
Yeah, you can, but it's literally just in the abstract where you write there.
Yeah,
where
I
it states
read the abstract. We read it together.
They sample the tissues to tell the health of the organ. That's why the title of the paper has organs in it, not cellular level or tissues.
How are you applying porcine plasma to the entirety of a rat without, that
You
doesn't make any
inject it
sense.
into the rat, Amender.
Where are you seeing that?
Can I just intervene for a second, because I read a bit about this. So it's a treatment that they apply to rats. If you go down in the study, you will see that they also assess the cognitive function of the rats that were actually treated with the porcine plasma. So it's literally like a treatment that they did, and they tested the rats for months after the treatment to see exactly if their cognitive functions are also getting better, which they should have. And they actually found that the cognitive functions started to improve after the plasma fraction treatment was applied.
And like what you said,
Where do you
Amanda, they
see
didn't
that?
just do this in a petri dish. They didn't just do
It's
this in a petri
down.
dish.
If you just a second, Space Apache. If you go down, you'll see it says cognitive function as a title,
Left
and then it talks
cognitive
about
function.
it doesn't have pages, so I can't really. And figure 4 is literally detailing exactly how the cognitive function improved over
Okay.
time.
Okay. Let's take a look here. So, learning from memory, which are constituent characteristics of cognitive. Oh, let me pull it up. Oh shit! Where did it go? God damn it! All right.
That's the one.
Learning and memory, which are constituent characteristics of cognitive functions, decline not only in humans but also in rats starting from 12 months of age. Barnes maze was used to measure latency period required by the rats to escape through the right hole in an escape box. Videos illustrating the latency patterns of 3 rats, young, old treated, and old untreated, can be found in the supplement. Within a month of plasma fraction treatment, the rats exhibited significantly reduced latency to escape. They learned and remembered better. After the second month, treated rats began slightly reduced latency period compared to the untreated old rats, and once again they learned much faster than the latter. And by the third month, it was clear that treated rats remembered the maze much better than untreated ones. From even the first day of test, their latency period was significantly reduced. At the end of the test period, their latency was like that of young rats. This feature was sustained and repeated in the 4th month. Collectively, these results showed an E5 improved learning and memory from the rats. Interestingly, the epigenetic age of the treated rat brain samples, the hypothalamus, was lower than that of the untreated old ones, but less markedly than the magnitude decrease of epigenetic age of the blood, heart, and liver. This introduced numerous possible insights in the relationship between cognitive function, biological age, and physical health, which would be further elaborated in this discussion. Okay, so is this, you would say this is age reversal?
Epigenetic age reversal, yes, which is what we care about when it comes to aging. And so I would like to point out, your original claim was they put these tissues in a petri dish and applied the young porcine blood plasma fraction.
Yeah, that's what it said in the abstract.
That's not what it says in the abstract, because you misunderstood it. And you, once again, all you read was, like you said before, all you read is the abstract to the conclusion. You didn't read the rest of the paper. If you read the rest of the paper, you would know the stuff about the neural studies. You would also know, like, for example, the blood was the most affected part of the rat and showed the most improvement, and the liver also showed significant improvement.
Okay, I mean, I don't have a problem with the idea that this concept could make them think better. Sure.
It's not about them thinking better. It's about them generally being better at everything. This is epigenetic age reversal. They have older rats functioning much on the same genetic and operational level that younger rats would, independent of their actual age. This is age reversal.
Okay, so you think that this can be applied to humans?
Yes.
Okay.
Now that steps outside the bounds of this paper, but yes. Overall, your original claim was that I'm hyperbolizing this paper. So I would like you to tell me exactly, do you think I'm still hyperbolizing it now that you know
No,
this new
it sounds
information?
more reasonable now.
Okay, fair enough. Now we can go on to the whether or not it can be applied to humans. I think that obviously I don't have a paper to back this up entirely, but the paper does comment on a little bit, if I remember correctly, at a certain point. They did use some human, if I remember correctly, it was tissue in the paper. It's been a minute. But overall, we see the study currently happening, an unofficial study of similar effects, but not quite, happening with this billionaire and his son and his grandfather doing these experiments. But I would like to say, I think that obviously rats don't translate perfectly to humans. However, in this case, seeing as like young piglet blood plasma worked on rats, I see no reason that at least my hypothesis is that I wouldn't see any major reason it wouldn't be applicable to humans as well.
I mean, it might. Sure. I mean, how much extra 8 years do you think that you'd get out of that?
According to this study, like almost like a lot.
How many?
Up to like 40%.
40%.
If you look at the study and start, like, obviously different organs age at different rates, so it's not, I can't say it's probably not 40%. That's why I said up to 40%. But yeah, in some of the organs we saw returns as much as 40%.
Okay. I think that's probably a bit of a stretch.
I mean, it's the upper limit, yeah.
I mean, like one, you have the problem with the humans and getting this to humans, and then like increasing that to 40%. So would you say that, is this would you still agree that, and you did not say that this debate, but I'm going to see if you hold to that. Do you believe that you will live to be 1,000?
This has nothing really to do with our debate. This is getting into my personal views of like of where technology will go and where we'll end up as a species. But yeah, I do think it's a genuine possibility, and I'm backed up by people like Ray Kurzweil, and other professionals in this field who believe, like as they've stated, that the first person to live to 1,000 has already been born. So I think there's a very real, provided we don't blow each other up, destroy our planet through global warming, or some major other black swan event that could very easily happen to us happens. Yeah, I think there's a real possibility I'll live to be 1,000. Yeah.
You would say this paper, however, this porcine plasma injection, this does not get you to 1,000, right?
I don't know. We don't have, to my knowledge, we don't have studies on this with larger creatures that live significantly longer. We're going to still continue to do these studies in rats.
Yeah, I'm saying right now.
Potentially. And the
I'm
issue
saying
is
right now, do
potentially-
you think that we can, based on this study, live to 1,000?
I don't think so, but I mean, like, it might be a
Right, I don't
possibility.
think so
We need
either.
to see how. Let me finish real quick. It depends on how it overlaps with humans. Okay, so I don't see any reason it shouldn't overlap quite well with humans. Of course, I'm not a biologist. Okay, so maybe I'm missing something. It's a very real possibility. But the professional opinion of people in the field is that it should overlap quite well with humans. Now, there's something maybe we're all missing. All right. On the other hand, like if we did do this and it did have these effects, it say we did make it well enough, we did perfected this procedure to such a point that we could give humans 40% more life, right? And as they age, we do it again and again. We don't know what that would look like over and over and over and over
Well,
again.
the study
decades.
talks about an improved cognitive function, right? Like, isn't like the number one thing that kills humans is heart disease?
Yeah, the heart was also affected positively.
Okay, well that's good. I'm just saying that, like,
But
I don't know, this
not on the
idea of
level
like a
of the liver.
40%, I don't know. It just seems a lot.
I said
And-
up to 40%.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's more muted, and you're making a lot more of a more chewable claim in my eyes at this point.
But the issue is like I'm making the same claims I've made before. It's just I get more aggressive when it's a non-official debate. I'm not gonna lie, I do get more aggressive. But when I come onto a larger, like especially a recorded debate, I'm a lot more surgical than I usually am. But this is the same claims I've been making the entire time. We have people in the side chat right now who literally are saying, like, this is all he talks about. Yeah, this is what I talk about. This is what I delve into. The same claims I made before. Yes, I believe there's a very real possibility I live to 1,000. Yes, I believe this can be transferred. I don't see any reason this shouldn't be able to be transferred into humans. Yes, we have genuine epigenetic age reversal. Yes, the technology is being funded to the tune of billions upon billions of dollars and multiple countries involved in the execution of this technology. There are many wildly powerful people who want this technology to happen, and many reasons we should distribute it to the average citizen, primarily because we have declining birth rates around the world and shit. So yeah, I do believe this technology will advance rapidly because so many people, so many powerful people, and so many citizens need it. And I think we'll see that. That's the opinion of Ray Kurzweil. That's the opinion of multiple scientists in this field, is that will be funded and advance rapidly, and that if you survive the next 10 years, there's a very real possibility you survive the next 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, but this study doesn't show that, right? And
No, this is the first. The reason the study is so important is because this is the first genuine epigenetic age reversal we've ever encountered.
Mhm.
That's why it's so important.
Yeah.
It's the
yeah, it
belly-
sure is
it's the,
cool. I mean,
the belly
don't get me
button
wrong,
stage.
right? Like, I would like to see, like age reversal. Like, obviously, like I don't want to, live till like 85 and die. It would be super cool to live, 200, 300. That would be amazing. That would be incredible. But, I don't know. It just, my main issue with at least prior that I've had with you was that, like, I feel like that you hyperbolize the position, but no, this sounds a lot more reasonable. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's the same claims I've been making. I do get way more aggressive when I'm not being recorded, obviously. But obviously, you know how I am. Like, that's the way I debate. I'm extremely aggressive. Like, I'm aggressive here. I'm just not. When I'm not in an official debate, it's more like swinging a battle axe, and like here, it's like using a dagger, right? Like, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. So you got
But
anything
it's the
else
same
for me?
claim. It's been the same claims. No, not really. Like, that's my primary. That's the
Can
primary.
I
one
tell you
I'm-
something interesting? We actually do have animals in the world that are technically immortal. They will
Yes.
never
Yes.
die.
Yes,
And the
there are
reason they die
lobsters.
is for like
think
external,
certain
like
jellyfish
lobsters, exact jellyfishes that are immortal. And yeah, I mean, these studies are important because we can, like, even in the study that he references, they're literally, first of all, they had to find some way to determine the epigenetic age of the rats, and in the meantime, like, two of those methods that they developed are actually applicable to humans to kind of know exactly what the genetic age of a person is, because that's what epigenetic means. It's not a chronological age.
Mhm.
So no, it is interesting. Yeah, does it mean that we'll live to 1,000 in the next 20 years? Probably not.
I think that
But
I have a question for
it's
you.
probably gonna get better.
I have a question for you, Daniel. A lot of these advances, like especially the anti-aging research, like the current mitochondrial gene therapy drugs that are being developed in Southeast Asia, and the mapping of the human genome and gene therapy drugs that are being developed around the world are primarily being driven at this. Well, not primarily being driven, but AI is beginning to drive this research drastically because of the data compression abilities that AI carries with it. I think that my personal opinion is this: I'm going to invest, and bet probably my life on the idea that these AIs will drive this technology forward significantly faster than traditional human research methods. That's why I believe, and this is why people like Ray Kurzweil believes we'll see, like, basically
What was the
aging
question, though?
aging escape velocity within the decade.
You said you had a question. What was the
Oh
question?
yeah, the question is, wouldn't you consider that the same thing? You're pretty familiar with this AI tech. You're familiar with what it does. Isn't your opinion that isn't it rational to believe that these things will accelerate this technology?
So I
rapidly?
would like to continue, but we do got to continue our further debates. So I'm going to go ahead and move you guys back to the audience, if that's okay.
Fair enough.
Been a
Yep.
pleasure.
Appreciate you
Good
guys
night.
joining.